Hey guys, welcome to this video. This time we are going to be discussing what's the best 5th legendary weapon. In case you want to know the short answer, it's 9 Yang. If you want to know the reasoning and where you can find it, stick around till the end. So first of all, we're going to start out discussing 9 Yang. What makes it really good is it has 660 in the main stat and 300 in the substat at a maximum roll. If you already compare it with all the other fist weapons available, all of them are at 600 main stat attack and at most 200 substat attack. And this gets further amplified like this disparity. You're looking at baseline 160 attack. This difference gets further amplified by your Homestead Workshop. In case you don't know, the Homestead Workshop can buff the attack and defense stats from your gear by up to 110%. There should be a screenshot of it right now on the screen. And the 160 attack difference already becomes 336, and that's quite a lot of attack to be missing from simply having any of the other fists. Then secondly, first of all, we can check out the other fists, the North Sea. All it does is reduce the enemy's Chi and Steel MP. Typically, you should not run into MP, as such this is a worthless modifier, and reducing Chi is not that good unless you're playing a build that specifically aims to reduce Chi. Then you have the Freedom Fist, which has Lifesteal and some Sealed. This can be used in some gimmicky build, but most fist builds are essentially brute force. You want to kill the enemy as soon as possible, and slowing them down with Sealed or recovering your own HP is not that worthwhile. Especially when you consider that most fist builds will run the People's Palm manual. As such, you should have access to the 9 Provinces manual, and that is way better health regen than whatever this life drain, this life steal could be. The Enlightened has a really nice effect. You can already see it, 30% more damage. It's straight up, if you initially dealt 1000, it becomes 1300. Really good, really solid. So this would be a contender. The Bloodlust effect for additional spirit gained is not that useful, but the final damage increase is already really good. Then you have the Dragon Slayer with 20 to 40% critical strike damage. Now, due to the way the damage is calculated, 40% crit strike damage is actually worse than 30% final damage. So, from just a ranking point, Enlightened would still be higher than Dragon Slayer. Then additionally, you can see Impact, it causes internal injury to the enemy. On a low difficulty, internal injury is quite nice, but on higher difficulties, enemies on one hand barely get any internal injury, and secondly reflect internal injury back to you. You could pick up the internal injury immunity trait yourself, but typically you do not want to do so. As such, it's still lower ranked than Enlightened. Then you have Kunlun, and the same argument stands as with North Sea. The minus Chi is not that good, and we don't even talk about the additional spirit gain from both Enlightened and Kunlun. It's really not needed. And then last but not least, we get to the Amazing Fist. Once more, 9 Yang, it's the only one with 660 and an additional 300 attack. Then the Fist Aura effect reduces enemies' Chi by 200. It's at least better than the 50-200 or the 50-200 or North Sea. Like, it's flat 200, you don't even have to roll it when crafting. It's not that amazing, but still nice. Then additionally, it gets 35% crit damage, already really good. And then the last modifier, Energy Abundance, for every 50 spirit you gain 5% final damage. Normally it's quite hard to get spirit unless you know what you're doing. You can, in any run you're doing, get 2 traits from just playing the game in a specific way. And those 2 traits you can even see in the character creation menu. They are obtainable in game though. It is on one hand a Path of Loyalty, which causes you to start with an initial spirit of 100 and then a burning spirit trait you can obtain from joining the Kunlun camp. And the burning spirit trait causes you to get 50% more spirit whenever you gain spirit, and that works, or like synergizes even, with Path of Loyalty. As such, with Path of Loyalty, normally you would start each combat with 100 spirit, now you start each combat with 150 spirit. As such, this immediately the energy abundance modifier becomes 15%, and then the longer the fight goes on for, the higher the damage will be, up to 25%. And the 25 is almost comparable to the increases damage effect on the Enlightened. Then you have the additional base attack I already talked about, so that is essentially on an even scale with Enlightened, and then the crit damage on top just rules. It even has the modifier effort for some additional crit chance if you are not actively using the Imperial Seal, so that's quite nice. Now, in order to get the 9 Yangs, you first have to head to the southwest region, so we can do so via the west border patrol. Then we simply head up the mountain. I already have cleared the fight, otherwise there would be fight. Head up to the cliff, you will get a short cutscene. You can now climb down with either 20 strength, 20 dexterity or 20 rope. Rope you can buy at a grocery store in any of the 3 cities. And now, by harvesting one of those trees, you can get to the tomb, which you can dig up with a simple iron shovel. And you will get the 9 Yang blueprint. And here you can see the recipe for the 9 Yang. You can farm the Damascus steel, black metal and refined iron in your homestead back mountain if you have that unlocked. And the 1000 years frozen ice you can obtain from the night auction market. So I hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time. Bye bye.